Hello, first graders. We are beginning a unit on shapes. Today we're going to look at squares and other rectangles. To begin, carefully cut out your shapes on page 297, the squares, rectangles, and triangles, and on page 299. Put them in a bag. Today you will need your squares and rectangles. Take the shapes out, explore them. How many sides do all these squares and rectangles have? If you said 4 sides, you are correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many corners do they have? If you said 4, you are correct. 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Now there's something very important about our corners. For it to be a square or a rectangle, the corners have to be a square corner. So if you look at this arm here, and the book is in the corner, that's what we call a square corner. If the arm were laying out a little bit farther, it would not be a square corner. Or if it was tightened up, it wouldn't be. So squares and rectangles have to have 4 straight sides and 4 square corners. Now, look at this one. This shape is almost a rectangle. What is wrong with it? You are correct. Only 1, 2, 3 corners. It is open. It doesn't have that 4th corner. It needs to be a closed shape like this one to be a rectangle. Now we're going to learn what's special about squares. Squares are actually rectangles. They're a special rectangle. And what is special about squares? Squares have 4 sides the same length and 4 square corners. This red pink one over here is a rectangle. It has 4 sides, but 2 are long and 2 are short. So squares are rectangles, but special ones. Now, take a look at these 3 shapes. I have this one. What shape is it? A rectangle, you're right, a skinny rectangle. Is this still a rectangle even though it's fat or fatter? Yes. And this is a rectangle even though it's turned on its side. What's important is all 3 of these that you see here have 4 straight sides and 4 square corners. Now, what if I make this one a different color? Is it still a rectangle? Yes, doesn't matter what color it is as long as it has those 4 straight sides and 4 corners. Now that we know, let's help Puzzled Penguin. He says that shape A is a rectangle. Is he correct? No, shape A is open. It has to be closed to be a rectangle, and there are only 1, 2, 3 corners. What if Puzzle Penguin would say shape B is a rectangle because it's red? Well, that's not true. It's a rectangle because it has 4 sides and 4 corners. The color doesn't matter. What if Puzzle Penguin said shape C is not a rectangle because it sits on its point? Is that true? No, it's a rectangle because the corners are square even though it's turned. So there's 4 square corners and 4 sides. So it's a rectangle because of that. Today, you need to complete pages 301 and 302. You're putting X's on things that are not rectangles or squares. You get to draw shapes, and on the back, you're sorting these shapes. Draw the squares here, rectangles here, and there are some things here that are not squares or rectangles, like this cloud. Oh, there's 3 things you can draw in there. So this is where we get to recap. Is this a rectangle? Yes. Is this purple a rectangle? Yes. Is this one a rectangle? And last, is this a rectangle?